All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Beers by the Ivy with my buddy Jake. What up, Jake? Thanks for
Yo, yo.
joining. Talk about Week 7 NFL, another good slate. Jake, any first thoughts?
A lot of good games. I hate Patrick Mahomes
Yeah,
and
he's
I
real
hate
deal.
Kirk Cousins.
Did you lose a bet? Is that why you hate them?
Yeah, Kirk Cousins costed me $9,000 today because
Wow.
all I needed was the Falcons to beat fucking perennial backup Geno Smith and the Seahawks. So that
Yeah,
team, last time I was on here, I was like, maybe I was wrong. Maybe they're really good. I like their odds, and then they go out and get beat 34-14. So
that's what Gino does, man. He randomly looks like Peyton Manning in Peyton's era. Like the classic. Like,
yeah, I just don't understand him anymore. But learn your lesson, I guess.
yeah, no doubt. All right, Jake and I are both Colts fans. Jake's also a diehard Yankees fan, so we're gonna put the Yankees talk at the end. I'll give Jake his floor. I'm a diehard Cubs fan, beers by the Ivy, talking sports, drinking beer in Wrigleyville. So I'm still upset about the Cubs season, but I'm rooting for the Yankees because of Jake.
Hell yeah.
So there you go. All right, let's just jump into the Colts. Then we're gonna go through the whole slate of NFL games. We like to go through the whole slate just because there's fans of different teams, so we want to talk about each team, even if we don't dive deep into like the Patriots. At least we talk about them, kind of thing. Is my train of thought here. But yeah, Colts. Oh my God, Jake, dude. Um, why we have multiple teams in the National Football League doing outside tosses, the same play, and that play leads to 15-yard gains just drives me up a wall. Like
Yeah,
I've
this
never
was
seen that in football in the NFL. Like toss plays constantly burning the Colts.
this was kind of a different paced game than what I would normally expect. With A-Chain, mainly because he's so freaking fast.
Yeah.
Uh, Sometimes it would work, and sometimes the defense would stuff it. So like, I you gotta think they have. Oh God, what was that dude's name? I'm drawing a blank on the quarterback's name. I can't even remember it now. But he's not a throwing quarter. Tyler Huntley. There you go. He's not a throwing quarterback. So you already know this is going to be a run heavy game plan. Um, don't bite on the easy shit that you can tell. Like, don't overthink it. They're not going to come out and he's not going to burn you down the field. So he goes out of the game and they have Tim Boyle. This dude's played for, I think he's on his third freaking team now, and he's never
hmm
like been the starter. So you know that he's not going to go out there and like burn you up down the field if unless you give him like wide open looks and everything. I don't know. Like,
Honestly, how the Colts didn't beat them by more. When you look at the stat lines, Huntley had
yeah.
87 yards, Boyle 74 yards. Like essentially the Dolphins did not have an offense, and we only scored 16 points. They scored 10 points.
Yeah, given they do have good pieces on the defense, I still as he's getting older, I think Jalen Ramsey's one of the best corners in the league still. So I'm not gonna like take that away from him, but with the possessions that they had, and then just their inability to drive, and I wrote some stats down too.
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson had four passes that were like hit the receiver on the hands, and it just dropped. On top of that, he had two that got taken away. One of them was a deep shot to Pierce that was, I think Pierce got out of bounds on like the two. So like maybe those numbers would have looked a little bit different had those actual like A been successful passes, or B if that play would have gotten up. Because I think that was the offsetting penalty one where they called it defensive pass interference against Pierce, and then I think that we had like a hold or something. So I don't know. I mean, I was freaking out when we were down. I was like, I just put Flacco in. Like,
I went on a walk, like
yeah,
legit. No, I'm not kidding.
I don't blame
Um,
you.
I just don't understand also why we got Richardson taking on hits, like even in the first drive, taking that hit from the
Yeah,
cornerback or safety, like he had a couple good dives, don't get me wrong, like,
I loved
but
the sliding today. I loved
yeah,
his
yeah, a
ability to get
couple
down
good
the
ones.
field, get down. I think he had two different plays, I think, where he took somebody on. Uh, but they were obviously like smaller frame guys than him, which I mean, that's not really that hard to find because he's 6'4", 245. But still, you don't want to see him taking those hits. Speaking of taking unnecessary hits, can we please fucking get Josh Downs off punt return duty? Josh Downs is one of our best receivers. Why are we throwing him out there to take fucking punts back? Put Doolin back there.
You would only put a star player back there in a star player moment.
Or if literally everybody else is fucking hurt. Like I'd rather
Yeah.
see Goodson, Evan Hull, Ashton Doolin, um, there's another wide receiver. I think his name is like Ben Cleveland or something like that. But I think that he's on practice squad right now. Anybody else other than Josh Downs?
Yeah, I agree. Like Marvin, he didn't catch punts. He might have catch punts early in his career, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
Edelman used to catch punts, but also when he was on the bench.
Yeah, and so did Tyreek Hill, and obviously like they work up and graduate from that. But like, still, you don't want to see your already proven guy back there taking punt returns can be freaking brutal hits sometimes.
Yeah, I know. I agree too. It's more of a college star receiver thing to do.
Yeah, I don't know, but win's a win. Sometimes you got to win ugly. Maybe
Yeah, it's just I honestly don't think if they would have played that performance against 28 other teams, they would have lost.
no. And if they play like that next week, they're gonna get fucking throttled because against the Texans, um, luckily. And this is what I'm hoping based off kind of what I've been reading. Potential of DeForest Buckner coming back next week. That's going to be huge for the
They
defense.
have to have it, dude. They
Um,
because like they go right up the middle.
yep. And JT is potentially coming back next week too.
And
So completely different look when JT's in than when he's not.
I didn't think our offensive line had that bad of a game, and I
No, they
thought
didn't. I didn't
good,
think they
good
did either. There was definitely four plays where if Flacco is in instead of Anthony Richardson, it's a sack.
yeah,
Uh, it's just hard to match his physicality that he brings to the position. But
yeah.
some of
With
the
the
other intangibles, like I don't know if he's just throwing too hard or
he
uh,
he can't. I
you
you know how I
say
feel.
like
I
you heard
don't.
Diggs. I think Diggs in week one was telling CJ Stroud how like he throws like a nice ball, like no diddy, but
Yeah,
like I don't know,
CJ
maybe
Stroud had a 39 out route. Like it was literally like amazing ball location. And it was like to the ground with a receiver, defender couldn't get it, but receiver could.
yeah,
Like that's the kind of touch. And it was on the run too, on the right side of the running to the right. That's the kind of touch like Richardson just truly does not have right now. Like he's still
yeah,
developing professionally. You know how you get a your first job, second job, or you start a new job, like you're actually like useless,
yeah.
and you got to get the skill set. Like he's in the get the skill set to be a professional quarterback mode right now.
Yeah, and it's tough because like you want to see them win now and you want to see them win convincingly. I don't think that we're going to see that a whole lot this season. I'm going to see like one or two games late in the year, but he's not going to get that experience unless he plays. So
Yeah,
like
that's the
these are the
tricky
growing pains that you
thing.
got to deal with it.
That's the tricky thing. But you see, like Washington winning large.
I mean, yeah, so Jaden Daniels went out in that
I
game.
know,
Mariota came in. It was just like a seamless transition. But I mean, it's the Panthers, so
I know. I'm just saying, like, there's other, I don't know, there's other young quarterbacks that, yeah, I'm staying patient, I guess, but he's not my favorite quarterback I've ever seen play. And I
yeah.
think another hot take I have is that, like, I like JT, but I still feel like Goodson and Sermon, like, they played pretty serviceable together.
I like Goodson a lot more than like Sermon. Sermon last week, I feel like he just ran into the back of the O line like every single fucking time they got the ball and just stopped, and that was it.
He's just a
Which,
power back, but Goodson's actually shifty and,
yeah,
but
when Goodson gets through the first level and breaks in that second level, if he doesn't get touched in the first like 3 yards, he is downhill and he's going.
so to your point last week too, it's like, okay, JT comes back, we'll give some of his carries to Goodson, and let's keep the
Yeah,
dude healthy.
yeah. Don't put the whole workload on him.
Yeah, it's just at this, I mean, the guy misses 5, 6 games a year.
As much as my fantasy team would love that, don't make him touch the ball 30 times a game.
Well, he's on my fantasy team too. Like, geez, I want the dude to play. Like, we got our butts kicked today in fantasy. Such a joke. All right, let's talk about the rest of the slate. We're gonna go right down to Thursday, Sunday, and then Monday. There's two games. Broncos Saints. Bo Nix, dude. Bo Nix has a winning trade about him, and I really like him. He's on my fantasy team too. But the dude makes plays that need to get made, and he's making them with once again the skill set that he has.
Yeah, I just want to point like I like
Meaning,
I like
like,
Bo Nix in this game. He did good. I want to point out this is how bad the quarterbacks looked in this game according to Vegas. FanDuel had a line where you could literally bet, and you get plus money for this, each quarterback to get 10 passing yards minimum in each quarter, and you would pay out. It was like plus like 120 or something like that. And my buddy sent me this. He's like, I'm throwing at least $50 on this. I was like, do your thing, dude. I don't fucking trust Spencer Rattler because I watched that shit that he was in on Netflix.
did he
And
make it? Did the bet hit?
No, it did not hit. I think the third.
Yeah.
I think in the third quarter, Spencer Rattler threw for like 4 yards.
Yeah, he's just probably not a starter, but Bo Nix, I think, is gonna
Bo
grow into a
Nix, yeah,
starter.
Bo Nix hit it for sure. He actually had a really good game. I think the Saints
164,
defense is really good too.
16-26.
So
He also ran 10 carries, 75 yards. I just like him because, there's certain points where, a true professional quarterback's probably going to stay in the pocket, make a throw, but he just figures out a way to get a first down with his legs or something unique. And I like that trait. And maybe Richardson does that too, and I'm just blinded by it. But yeah, I really liked what I saw from Bo Nix on Thursday.
yeah, Richardson definitely has that ability.
He
I
looks
think,
huge running. He looks like a fridge out there.
dude, he looks fucking massive. Bo, I feel like Bo Nix looks like really small, like
Yeah,
almost
he
a Kyler
does.
Murray size when he's running for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, like a little lengthier, but yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I
He's
just
just
get really
young.
nervous when Richardson takes off because I'm like, oh, he's gonna get hurt again.
He's just young, and like
Stigma, man.
you don't understand this until you get older, but like a 22-year-old and a 28-year-old are like way different. Like at
Yeah,
28, like like I'm stronger than I was, at 20, and I don't even lift weights that much anymore. Versus at
yeah,
20, I used to
without a
be in the
doubt.
gym. It's just you just sort of get stronger as you get older, and that peaks and valleys, but you know what I mean.
I'm also like 40 pounds heavier than I was back then, so like that
Throw it
kind of
up,
goes into it. But
throw
no,
it up.
yep, you gotta put up that big weight.
Exactly.
Uh, Sunday morning. Did you watch the game this morning? The
I checked it
Patriots
out
game?
just because I knew we were doing this show.
Yeah.
32-16, all Jags, keeping their coach around. That's what I was on the Doug Peterson tracker. I think he's on the plane. So, yeah,
Look, I still wouldn't be surprised if there's a when the plane lands that news breaks he got fired. I think it's kind of hard to fire your coach when you stay in London back to back weeks, but I mean, with the way they started out and everything the Shad Khan had said about how like what they think about the roster for this year, it wouldn't surprise me if he's gone even after a win.
that's right. Wait, hold on. They have another game next week, right? Isn't in, Ja- in
No,
or is that it?
there's no way they play 3 weeks in a row in
Okay,
one.
so they played
It's
last week, this week.
insane.
Yeah, so that was the big thing. Like, if they can just win the games and make, if they lose both, then we thought he was gonna get fired.
Yeah, he still might get fired.
But yeah, I kind of think like, well, if the Colts had Lawrence, would the Colts be better? What's going on there? Because I still think Lawrence is weirdly like a good quarterback, but the numbers don't prove it, but the feeling proves it. So he's a
Yeah,
confusing person. He's a person you'd really need to study and watch the tape and watch the film on to really understand what the hell's going on with that team.
yeah, it's hard because I think that he was like the highest rated prospect since Andrew Luck when he got drafted.
Oh yeah,
So maybe you just automatically associate that with, oh, he's gonna win everything. And then didn't his rookie season, didn't they make that playoff run?
yeah, yeah. Oh, no. They had a second season because they had Urban the first season. That was a mess.
Yeah,
Then
that's
he
right.
came back and be like, oh no, he's got it. Like, but I don't know, man. He might be a guy who like I think it'd be crazy to ship him off somewhere, but he might be a guy who like needs a reset if he stays in the slump for the next year or two.
Yeah, it changes scenery. I mean,
Yeah,
crazier things have happened. Look at Sam Darnold.
I know. I still
So
don't. That game was great. We'll get to it.
yes, we will.
Um, all right,
Seahawks and Falcons.
take the floor. I didn't know you had so much into this game. I would have watched the
No,
shit.
so it was on a parlay, and I had a couple crazy ass legs that hit. Like I had Bengals defense and special teams to score, and then they opened the game up with a kickoff return for a touchdown. So that was pretty cool. I had Saquon Barkley to get like 150 plus total yards, and it was like big payout on that. So when you parlay all that together in it, but I just had the over in that game. So actually I took over 40 and a half because I felt confident on both teams to score 21. And then I took Seahawks money line or Falcons money line, my bad. Um every time I looked over, Kirk Cousins was throwing another pick. It was a pick. I was like, God, and then the one time he didn't throw a pick, he fumbled. I don't know. Maybe the Seahawks are better than I gave them credit for.
Dude, I don't know much about gambling, but it seems to be everyone who gambles on the Falcons regrets it, and that's been like a 10-year trend.
Yeah, they're probably gonna be on my no bet list for the rest of the season solely from that one game. I might stick betting on like Bijan Robinson to get like 50 yards or something stupid like that, but I don't know. That one hurt pretty bad. Um, I don't really have anything else to say about that. I really like Drake London. Drake London looks really good.
Walker had that amazing catch. You know what
Yeah,
I gotta say too? Like the fact that all these like muscle receivers get hurt all the time, like Metcalf got hurt, Debo Samuel. I don't know if he was hurt or sick, but just in general, I see that a lot. And I like, I grew up with more like receivers that were skinny looking, and these
like
bulk
Devontae
guys,
Smith.
yeah, like these bulk guys just seem to always be pulling something or getting hurt, man.
Yeah, DK got hurt in that game, but he landed hard. His wasn't just like a pulled hamstring like on a rel. Like he came up, I think he came up and then got flipped upside down and landed like almost on his neck.
He's ferocious.
So, he's a freak of nature.
He's like a yeah, he's a specimen, and when he goes up and gets the ball, it's
I
like
can't
geez,
believe
this
the
guy.
Colts drafted him or Paris Campbell over him. Stupid.
Yeah, you had the speed pick. I liked that pick originally, that's for sure. I mean, because I thought the Colts like, okay, cool, we got a speed guy, we can actually go deep now.
Yeah, I wanted
Nope.
DK, but it just whatever. Fuck me, I guess. Moving on to Bills and Titans. I kind of watched. I had a little bit of interest in this solely because they were starting Mason Rudolph. Will Levis gets benched. Great move, Tennessee. He's not your guy. He's just not. He's not.
I love
That's
it.
really all I can say about
Yeah,
that.
he's just ne he never was gonna be
No, I don't know if this is gonna be like a permanent thing or maybe they're just like seeing if they can get something going because like 1-5, I really only think there's been a couple teams in history that have made a playoff run off a 1-5 start.
impossible.
Yeah, Colts did it with Andrew Luck, but that's a perennial star.
Yeah, rare
So
situation. You had a rookie get better or a young guy get better, or potentially like you have a veteran come back, go on a
yeah,
hot streak. But you can go on a hot streak, but this team just sucks. I mean, just they got nothing, no juice. Their jerseys suck. They have
dude,
a stadium that sucks.
Derrick Henry's not in Tennessee anymore. So
I mean, I don't mean to upset even Titans fans, but like I just don't feel like the vibe is great. Like the vibe's great at Tennessee University, like University of Tennessee, like their fans are crazy. I just don't feel like the Titans like they don't have culture, they don't have history. They need like a shake up like a CJ Stroud where you come in
yeah,
and you're like, dude, this is different now. Like
there
Texans
it's
are
getting to
for
that point in the season where it's like, do you become a buyer at the deadline or do you become a seller? They need to become a seller if they know what the best move is for them. They do have a couple pieces they could potentially move and get some picks. Maybe move DeAndre Hopkins. Um,
I think you just said something really important, selling.
yep,
Baseball culture, selling is so important. I mean, look at the Yankees. Like
yeah,
some of their guys stepping up. They got younger guys stepping up. Some of the trades they made are stepping up. Like when is the NFL going to take the trade deadline and really make it like the chess match where you sell a lot to hopefully go for a run? It's happened a few times, right? Like the Bills picked up the end rusher. I forget that guy's name, like last year. But there's certain moves where people do things. But I wonder if that's ever
yeah.
going to scale to a point where like the trade deadline's like this giant like event.
Yeah, I mean, if I was a GM, that's how I run it, and it kind of sucks because you're showing your hand that yeah, our season's over. We're going to go with our younger staff or, maybe second strings, but this is for the future, and then you have to be able to nail your draft picks, which I think is kind of hard in football. College, you can kind of look at somebody, and maybe what you see on the tape doesn't quite translate to the NFL. Maybe it does, and then they just suck at the NFL level. It's a different ball game. But if I'm the Titans GM right now, I'm seriously looking into it. I like what the Bills did. The Bills got aggressive. They went and got Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
Sick. The Browns, especially after losing Deshaun Watson, which I mean, whatever, they need to. Myles Garrett's got to go. Nick Chubb's got to go if they can move him, but they're probably not going to have any luck getting him off of that contract just coming off a knee injury like that.
100%. One time, or in between college, or one of the college summers, I did like summer school, like back around like where my family lives. So I also like coached like my high school football team, like just jumped in. One of the
Yeah.
coaches there was like an ex-NFL guy who like moved and got fired. Now he's just coaching his son's football team for a season. And I asked him like, what's the difference between college and football, or like, what's the difference between college football, NFL football? Like, are the people that much better, et cetera? And he goes, yeah, they're definitely that much better, but it's on the same scale. So you have people in the NFL that just like truly aren't good enough to be there. Like they don't have the skill level. So you still have like bad and good within like within your own NFL roster.
Yep.
And I thought that was pretty unique, but that makes sense, right? Like not everyone's going to be at the NFL level, even if people are like on the roster. That's why you have backups, third strings, all that.
Yeah. I've actually heard that from a lot of people too.
Yeah, pretty insightful. That's a cool gig too. All right, Texans, Packers. What'd you think of the all white jerseys? Did you
It
see
threw
those?
me off every time because I had that on red. It was popping up on red zone, and every time it would pop up and it'd be like looking at the stands, I'm like, "What fucking team is that?"
I know.
I liked them. That was a cool vibe. Really big win for the Packers, especially because Jordan Love hadn't been like the Jordan Love that we saw in the playoffs last season. Um, I still think that the Texans are going to be a Super Bowl contender when it's all said and done. But that's a huge win, even at home, to come out. He drove down the field and what I think it was like a minute. It was like a minute 30 getting down the field, and he had like one timeout to get set up in field goal position to win that game.
Yeah,
So
I think that was his
really,
best game of the year. And
yeah, that was definitely has been. Well, I don't know. I think that Lions throttling the Cowboys last week was up there for me, but that's
the, I was thinking about this game before it even started. This could be like a future Super Bowl.
it. Yeah, it honestly could be.
So you got two young guys coming up, opposite, side of the league. But what's
Yeah,
crazy about the stat line I'm looking at is CJ Stroud only had 86 yards, no touchdowns.
yeah,
Mixon though, I mean Mixon got a lot of those carries around the goal line, 25 carries, 115, two touchdowns. But once again, CJ Stroud can just make some of these plays where I'm watching. I'm like, like like being a Texans fan's got to be fun because third down and 8, you almost don't even have fear that he's gonna make it.
yeah. It was a different game plan than what we've seen from Texans historically, but sometimes those are the most fun games to watch.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely one of the better games of the. Every time Red Zone switched to it, I was like, oh, here we go. What's going on here?
yep.
All
Uh,
right,
Bengals and Browns have next on mine.
yeah,
Uh,
let's do it.
Bengals open up. Sorry, Cleveland fans. First, the fucking Guardians get sent home late in the middle of the night to lose the ALCS. Then you watch the Yankees celebrate on your home turf. Then you wake up and watch the Browns give up an opening drive kickoff for a touchdown. So, I mean, Browns fans are in misery. Biggest headline from this game probably is Deshaun Watson going down.
Yeah,
I think torn Achilles is what I was reading.
yeah, I think
I
so.
just had
Some,
to
yeah,
pull it up.
I think, yeah, and I think people really like Jameis Winston, right? Or people were
Yeah.
on the media. So people were saying that did he play? Yeah, he did.
Yes, he did. Deshaun, I think Watson went down like the second.
So they played DTR, I think, after the first original, like the next drive, and then they put Winston in from there.
Hmm. Yeah, I didn't really see it emphasized that much on Red Zone, but
Yeah, they kind of
uh,
let that go, and I don't have the package to see every single game. But yeah, Winston five for 11, 67 yards, one touchdown. Honestly, I think they can be just good with Winston. I like Winston. Maybe it's just
yeah,
personality and a couple good YouTube takes, but yeah, I
yeah,
mean, I
eat
don't
a
think the Browns
W.
are going anywhere. So they're yeah, exactly. I don't think the Browns are going anywhere. They're like a lot like the Titans, not much momentum.
Yep.
Probably looking to draft a quarterback in the draft next year. Probably
They need
should
to be
lose.
be realistic. They gave up a lot to get Deshaun Watson. They got to take a holistic look at who they have. So Denzel Ward, Miles Garrett, and they got to really think about shipping people off. And
They
teams
need
who
to.
would be potential buyers, like the Lions, should be calling them right now and saying like, "Hey, what is the availability on this? What are the odds that we can fill Aiden Hutchinson's spot with Miles Garrett?" Stuff
I
like that.
think so. I think so. Why
I
not?
think they should.
How good are the
Especially,
Bengals? That's my next question on this. The Bengals, they have a horrible start this season, and now they're just slowly but surely winning. Last what is two win streak right now.
yeah. And I
Once
mean,
they get
it's
back to 500, which could be next week, that's when hey, all bets are off. Maybe they hit the gas.
yeah. I mean, the NFL is
You never know.
a week to week league. I say it all the time. It's a week to week league. You never know what's going to happen. But we've seen what the Bengals can be when they're operating like at that optimal tempo. Last year, there's really no talent. Their offense is high caliber.
Yeah, they
Jamar
do.
Chase, didn't he have a game earlier in the season where he had like 225 yards?
Yeah, it was like 25 fantasy points for me. It was freaking awesome. Dude, he's 15 fantasy points like automatic a week. So that's like a touchdown and like 70 yards catching or
Yeah.
whatever the math, like something around there. And I'm just like, dude, this guy, and who's the other receiver? Boyd, right? Am I saying? No,
For
no,
who?
it's Higgins.
Yeah, T. Higgins.
Yeah, T Higgins. I mean, he's actually getting the rock more than Chase is.
Yeah, I mean that's that's going to be the Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams fix now.
Yeah, I know. I did the Jets tape this week. I'll talk about it once we go to the Monday night picks. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers can still sling it, let me tell you.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, I got Eagles, Giants. Saquon Barkley had a massive stat line. Those who had him on fantasy, congratulations. You most likely won because 17 carries, 176 yards. This is like Madden stuff, like 10 yards a carry. Like,
Yep. Once
unbelievable.
I saw this matchup on the slate, and I was like, you know what? This sounds like a Saquon Barkley revenge game. I literally went to on FanDuel. You can like scroll through, and it's like passing yards, receiving yards, and then just like same game parlay where it has everything. And I scrolled all the way down to the bottom, and it lists like uh rushing or receiving and rushing combined, and I just went to all, and I it literally capped out at 150, and I was like 150 combined, and he had like 85 in the first quarter.
Just a monster.
Yeah,
Just a
insane.
monster. I mean, that's what you want JT to be, right? For the Colts, like some guy
Yeah.
who literally can pop off and just put, team on
We
his
we
back.
give
I
a
mean, I
guy
don't
like that taking over, and I think this is a big win for the Eagles too. Even if it is a
four and
giant,
two.
I think that fucking franchise sucks. They really need to be realistic with themselves. I think they benched Daniel Jones in that game, didn't they?
Let me double check on this one.
I
Yeah, they
think they
did. They
did
put
bench
Drew
him and
Lock
put in
in.
Drew Lock.
They said nothing going. That's just a momentum benching. I think they'll keep Daniel Jones. Honestly, you might think this is crazy, but I think Daniel Jones, like the dude plays tough as shit. Last week, I don't even know who they played. Let me look. But he took on like linebackers to get first downs. I mean, this
Yeah,
dude, like he played the Bengals. They lost 17-7. But
yeah,
the guy does play with a lot of heart. And with a terrible team, if your quarterback's playing with heart, then your boys, your teams members are gonna most likely stay in the fight. So I don't think they should bench him. But they definitely got to move on. He's not going to be a serviceable Super Bowl winner right now.
no, he's definitely not that starting QB that they're looking for.
Maybe he switches teams and gets a new spark in his career, sits on the bench for a year, but yeah, he's just not
Yes,
the guy right
potentially.
now. Not the guy. All right. But yeah, good win by the Eagles. You feel good at 4-2. 3-2, you're like, are we good? 4-2, you're like, okay.
And they got back to their identity in that game too,
Run the
where
ball.
they're
Yeah.
overthinking it. Jalen Hurts is not a perennial pocket passer. He's not going to dice people up exclusively. They handed the ball off. They let Saquon do his thing. They got him open in space. And then I think didn't AJ Brown have a touchdown in that game?
Yeah. Yep.
So
86 yards, touchdown, I believe.
don't overthink it. You have a high caliber offense. Use them the right way.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's pretty much it.
Paris Campbell's actually on Philadelphia. I didn't know that. He
Yeah,
did have,
he's like their
yeah,
fourth string or something like that.
he had nothing, but he did a ball got thrown to him, but not a catch. Okay,
Sounds like
maybe
his
the
whole
game
time
of
in
the
Indy.
week. Yeah, maybe the game of the week. Lions Vikings. Here we go.
God damn, what as a football fan just watching this game, what a treat. Um, I kind of thought that the Lions defense would take a step back, obviously with the Hutchinson injury. Uh, you want to say that they did, but they were also playing against the Vikings. Watching games like this makes me I just dream of having Justin Jefferson on the Colts. Like that dude makes every freaking catch you throw to him. So but we don't have that. No, none of
No.
our guys are gonna be that explosive playmaker, and it kind of sucks. But Justin Jefferson's elite.
Yeah, what he's really good at is he's really good at like I don't know how to explain this, but in coverage, he's incredible at like getting his hands to the ball where like the receiver or the defender is like on top of him. Like he somehow gets his hands free. I don't know how to
Yeah,
explain it, but his hands are always not covered and the defender's hands aren't near his hands. So I don't know
yeah,
like what technique he uses, but he always flashes his gloves and just catches the ball and it just looks so seamless. But that is not easy to do. Like he's like magician out there with his ability to get that separation with his arms.
yeah. He's crazy to watch. You almost think like, is Darnold this good, or is Justin Jefferson that good. He's making Darnold look like
I
a
still don't know if Darnold's
quarterback.
that good. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll tell you right now, though, what I do know is the Lions offense is perfect for Jared Goff.
a
It is
juggernaut too.
made for Jared Goff. The
Yeah.
play action, the run game, the uniqueness. And Jared Goff, guys, has a cannon. I remember there's this one video where he like jumps in and it's like a funny video where he's like acting like he's a different guy and he's playing for like a JUCO school and the coach is like, "Hey, here's our new quarterback," and he's just slinging it and you get to see it from like a non-professional camera. You just get to see pretty much a guy filming on an iPhone and how fast he can throw the ball and like his release. It's just incredible. He's I'm so happy for him. If you
Yeah, he's playing himself into a potential MVP
I
award
thought
this
about this
year.
while watching that game. Like, if Jared Goff wins the Super Bowl and then strings a couple more good years for the Lions, like, could he be a Hall of Famer?
I think he could ascend into that, and it's crazy
Isn't that
because he's
crazy?
doing it. He's doing it in a league where you have to be mobile and be able to move, but he doesn't do that. He's doing all of this from the pocket. So
Yeah. It's just the system. They have a badass system.
yeah,
You got to pay the offensive coordinator. You got to
they
pay him.
did they run any plays to O lineman this week, or did they let that
No,
kind of just like chill out?
no. And I did a cut up of the offensive line plays. I got
Yeah.
to, it's like two plays from last week, but I'm going to probably put it as a YouTube short and TikTok video. But they're funny, man. One of them I thought they should have let go. They called that flag with like the lineman downfield and the
Oh, that was the
scheme
one to Penny Sewell.
yeah, the scheme was the lineman like was coming for a pole and maybe he stepped a little bit too far, but I thought they probably should have let that one go. So that was a little bit of a tight call, quite frankly. But yeah, you gotta like the Lions, two running back system. Dan Campbell, first half, calling a fake punt. Like
Yeah.
that is just like that's crazy, dude. I grew up like my diehard Ohio State fan, Jim Tressel, like fundamental football, and so when I see that, I'm like, and they come back and they win the game.
Yeah, he goes against the grain a lot. Like I
Uh,
remember I think it was last season where he went for a fake punt on like his 20. Like
That's what
that's
it was.
insane.
I was like, what? Like those moves to me are like automatically like losing the game. Like when you just, but they come back and win. It's the
Yeah, that's some
personality.
shit that you see on Madden.
Can you
So,
imagine being a Lions fan? Like that would just be
oh, that'd be so electric.
All right, let's keep going here, guys. Panthers, Commanders. I don't have much to say, but the Commanders are for real. They're a full team unit. I know the
Yeah,
Panthers suck, but still impressive. Like, impressive win. Lose your quarterback, stay strong, win by
Jaden Daniels goes
30.
down. They didn't diagnose any like full results of the injury yet, but he was on the sideline after he got X-rays done. He looked like he was in good spirits. So probably once he saw that, I think by the time he came out of the locker room, they were already up like 28-0 because the Panthers didn't score until like it was a pity touchdown late in the game. They were like, "Yeah, buddy, you're not gonna risk going back out there in this." It was a freaking beatdown. Sorry if you're a Panthers fan. You guys deserve way better than this. That franchise ran so fucking poorly that and even it's bad when even the announcers are saying that this is the pad your stats type of game.
No, it's just nothing. I mean, just nothing going.
Yeah.
Yeah, get the first pick, hopefully, and get the best quarterback you can.
Yeah, I want to
Rebuild
do
from
like a
there.
deep dive into it, like look at what happened to see what their decline has been since they went to the Super Bowl and they had Cam Newton. Like where did that franchise go south so quick?
I don't know, but they used to have like those two good linebackers, Kuechly, and was it
Kuechly retired. Yeah.
Davis Senior maybe? So they had
Yep.
some good ass players, man. They were
Like Kuechly
fundamentally built
retired
on
out of
defense.
nowhere, kind of like Andrew Luck did.
Yeah,
And I think it was actually like the same season, or like right at like one right after another too, which is weird.
I get it, man. You make enough money, like, dude, like at a certain point, like you're just like,
Yeah.
hey, all right, retire, family life, let's go.
No.
But yeah, next game I got, not much to really talk about this one, but Rams, uh, Raiders, Rams won 2015. Matthew Stafford did nothing, hurt me on my fantasy team. Minshew, nothing. O'Connell, I think, got hurt. A
They're
lot of
2 and
nothing in this
4.
game.
Is their season
Early
over?
game. Who? For what? The Rams?
Rams.
No, because they're gonna keep winning, bro. Cooper Kupp comes back next week. I'm hoping that they get some movement, but I like the Rams. I love Stafford, one of my favorite players in the league. I'm not counting them out.
Yeah. I mean, they're kind of put themselves into a position where they kind of have to win out the rest of the way, or at least like maybe lose once.
I honestly think them and the Bengals are in a similar spot. Both squads have the like ability, the talent, and the coaching. Can they get back to 500 and then can they explode from there?
Yeah.
But
I got a notification a little bit ago that said Cooper Cup is playing on Thursday. So that'll
I
be
think he is. I think that's why he sat out because I almost started him and I was doing a bunch of research. I felt like he wasn't quite there, but then he's like, well, if he sit out, then he's definitely back next week.
yeah.
Versus if he played, maybe, risk of injury and all that. But yeah, I mean, good football win by the Rams. A lot of good run game by the Rams. All right. Chiefs 49ers. I want to start with this one. Yeah, I broke down the film of the Chiefs like 2 weeks ago, and their offensive system just incredible. The intelligence that's in that system, and I think Tom Brady said something really good about, hey, Patrick Mahomes is now in like his winning mode, where maybe back in the day he was mainly focused on just like playing with the charisma and the stats. Now he's like tactically thinking about how do I win this play? How do I move the ball in the exact manner it takes to win the game? Some people call that like a, game manager, which is a nonsense word. But yeah, I think the Chiefs obviously um they're just incredible. I mean, that's really the word I would use.
Yeah. I think my biggest takeaway from this game is number one, Brock Purdy was getting assaulted by the defensive line like all game. He had a couple picks, but I mean, the picks that he were throwing, it was like he had immediate contact. Like literally, I think on one of them, Karlaftis literally was hitting him as he threw it. So like, not his fault. He's getting hit from his blind side. But I think there should be an invocable penalty when the quarterback is literally running down the line and he fakes going out of bounds to cut back in and cut back up the field. I saw Mahomes do that shit and he ended up busting it for like a 45-yard run or so, it was something crazy like that towards the end. It was in the fourth quarter and it was like a very pivotal moment. But like, what's the defender supposed to do there? Because if they go to hit Mahomes, then they get a rough in the passer call, and it's another 15 yards tacked on. But they don't hit him in this specific instance, and then he makes him look stupid and he busted up the field.
Yeah, I just think you got to
But
coach your guys though to say hit them.
yeah, I mean,
You gotta, I mean, what's he gonna do? Like, and then I think and then you just tell your team, like, hey, if we hit a quarterback, like, and he could have cut back, but he went out of bounds, now it looks bad optics. We gotta just say, like, well, like, how are we supposed to know that he's going out of bounds? So usually the quarterback or whoever's doing this kind of gives them a look, like, don't hit me. I
yeah.
don't know if you ever seen that where you kind of look down and go, hey, I'm
Well, I
going.
mean, he does that thing all the time where he'll be like 5 yards in front of the line of scrimmage and he pump fakes and people bite on that. Like, do
Dude,
you not have any situational awareness when you're going to tackle this guy? Like,
My first clip I broke down of his tape was him doing that, and he was literally in the middle of the field, and the defender jumped, and he just scrambled and like picked up five.
it's so annoying watching him, and he runs like he has to take a shit too, which is like
Dude,
the worst. He's not even like barreling through people or anything. He's just like tiptoeing around the field.
like I've never seen a quarterback that good on tape. I'm just straight up like it's so damn impressive. Like Aaron Rodgers on tape, like his arm is like more impressive, but just Mahomes is like natural ability to just move in the pocket and just know the whole offense is just it's just magical. It is one of the
Yeah.
coolest, most unique. Like, there's always a solution, and it's just awesome. I mean, I don't know how to explain it, guys. Just check out that video. I break it down on that one. All right, are we into the Monday? Are we into the Sunday night game now? Yeah, we are.
Yep. Sunday night game started. Steelers up 3-0 right now. Getting to watch Devontae Adams in his first look back with Aaron Rodgers.
Does he have
Probably
like
the
the
biggest
black?
storyline of the
Does he
week.
have like the
Oh,
black visor?
yeah.
Yeah.
But dude, that's gonna be so hard watching him roll out a green uniform. I actually like the Jets uniforms too. So
Yeah, so the one I did the Jets tape this week, the big prompt was like, can Aaron Rodgers still play? The answer is yes. Now he doesn't move like he used to at all,
no, definitely
but
not.
his arm is incredible. Like it's phenomenal. Like his footwork is so bad and lazy, and he still has the ability to like sling the rock 25 yards downfield, hitting Garrett Wilson on the run, who's probably running 18 miles per hour.
Yep.
Now, the offense is tough because they don't make easy plays. Versus like the Lions and the Chiefs, there's easy plays for Mahomes and Goff. Everything is so pressurized on Aaron Rodgers to throw 5 yard out, 5 yard slant, 15-yard post, and it's just so tough. Like they don't get anything that's just like layups. They don't get any layups. So I still don't think the
Yeah.
Jets will go too far, but
That could potentially change though. Now you're gonna have Garrett
maybe
Wilson lining up on like the number two corner. So I mean, we'll see what that offense looks like.
they got to run the ball better. And
They'll
they're
have
oh
to. And I love Brees Hall. I think Brees Hall is extremely dynamic, but he's not that power back. Like if the gap's not there and he can't like openly create it, like going around the outside, like bouncing it somewhere, he's not getting it. It's going to be like either a negative play or just like a no game play.
yeah, he kind of has like that third down. He kind of has that third down back kind of vibe, but but obviously he's the starter. I don't know. Some people really like him.
Yeah, dynamic pass catcher. Like out of the backfield, he's so smooth.
Like yeah, they should be good on paper. I just swear. Like I just feel like the offense isn't modern day NFL. I feel like it's very painful.
Kind of forced.
Yeah,
Steelers move on from Justin
I
Fields.
hate that.
Russell
Why?
Wilson.
I'm
I
not a
don't
Russell
know.
Wilson fan. Just when I found out he's a fake loser, like I'm not like a big fan. So like that's just a wild move.
Yeah, I didn't think that. I mean, your team is 4-2. Why change it up? And you're in a division where, well, number one, you're in a conference where if you're not winning your division, you're gonna have to have like 12 wins to make the playoffs. So why change it up now? Go to Russell Wilson. He hasn't had a winning season like 2 years, 3 years, I think.
Yeah, and he's just kind of whack.
Yeah. I mean,
Like
the dude rolled out in full uniform with his fucking headset on at week one when he got told that he wasn't the starter. So
like he's just
he's
like
a
I
goofball.
he's just yeah, he's weird. Like he's a weird person.
Yeah, he's not real. I
Yeah,
think it's a dumb move, but whatever.
he's like a corporate entity that has no soul. Like he's just like a odd person, you know what I mean? So why wouldn't you take there's just no way in that locker room they don't like Justin Fields. Like Justin Fields is a dude. Like he's a guy.
No, I think in the post game interviews, you can like see how much they like rally around him. So like,
Yeah.
I
And
don't know.
and I don't think Fields is even that good. You know, he's like he himself is painful to watch sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
And but you know, I don't know. So
Uh,
give me the Jets. I took the Jets last week, but give me the
yeah,
Jets.
I'm taking the Jets too. I took the Jets and I took the spread in a bet. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, I don't even care what the spread is. Give me the Jets. Just
Jets
Russell
minus
Wilson's
a
in there.
million.
Give me the Jets. All right, Monday night picks. Then we'll give the floor to Jake for the New York Yankees talk. But yeah, Ravens Bucks. This should be a pretty good game. I mean,
Yeah,
this is
so here's my big thing I'm curious about is Lamar, I think, is like 19-1 against NFC teams
yeah,
now.
he is. Yeah, he's
It's,
unbelievable.
it's some insane record like that. So I took in the Ravens in a parlay that I have. Um, not that I think that the Bucks can't keep this game interesting, but I don't see them being able to keep up with somebody who historically has dominated NFC teams, and then B Derrick Henry because let's face it, he's insane.
Yeah, I think it kind of goes back to like, are the Bucks for real? Like, are the Bucks tough enough? Are the Bucks,
Yeah.
like, are you gonna get the Bucks like last week, or you gonna get the Bucks like 2 weeks ago when they had nothing going? So,
This will be a good character test for Baker Mayfield for
y-
sure.
yeah, bright lights. He usually plays pretty good on the bright lights. So, yeah, I'm hoping it to be a good game. I hate double Monday night games. Like, why is the game not 5 p.m.
I
Eastern
do
and then
too.
7?
At
Like, why?
least they made it easy and they gave me one good game and one trash game.
They did that last time too. So you got 8:15 Ravens Bucks, and you got 9 p.m. Eastern Chargers Cardinals. Like,
They couldn't even stagger it another like 45 minutes to at least make it like an hour and a half
like
between.
one game is gonna be like they're gonna be a quarter apart.
Yeah,
Like, who's watching this? Like, who's watching the Cardinals Chargers?
yeah. I mean, my guess is, well, no, that doesn't even make, maybe it does, because it'll be 6 o'clock when that game starts over there. So maybe that's why it starts at that time. I don't know. I mean, just stop doing two Monday night games like that. There's no reason they can't play today.
Dude, there should never be two Monday night games. The only time there should be two Monday night games is maybe the first week of the year,
Or
maybe
like
one or
win in
something.
your end scenario, like week 17.
Yeah, like this is just a complete joke. It's a waste of a football game. It kind of made today suck where you had like that second window of red zone. They were literally just showing the Chiefs 49ers game.
Yeah, and I mean
Because
on
the
my
whole stream.
NFL, so I bought the NFL ticket, and I can only watch. I only have one game because the other was a primetime game, and then I can't watch the Commanders on there because there was a regional blackout for me. So like it's kind of fucked.
Sports got to get rid of regional blackouts.
Yeah, regional blackouts are done. Super
I
dumb.
mean that I literally could not watch the Cubs for like a year or two because of this nonsense. And finally, the Cubs came out with like their own TV network.
Yeah, yeah, that's whack. I don't know why they do that.
Such a
You're
joke.
taking Ravens, I would assume, in the
Yeah, give me the Ravens. I mean, I'm Ravens probably. Honestly, I got Ravens Super Bowl, so give me the Ravens every single game they play in. I
I'm
mean, maybe
going
not the line, but you get my point. Like Ravens to win.
yeah, I would go Ravens, and then I think I'm honestly going to take the Cardinals in that game. I read earlier that Marvin Harrison Jr. is playing tomorrow night, so
Okay,
I mean,
cool. Yeah, I have
he's
when I
crazy.
when I was at
So
that wedding this weekend, I was talking to this guy, and he said he has Marvin on the fantasy team. He said he thought he was going to play, so that's probably the truth there.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I think I would. I don't know if the Chargers are even good. Like Justin Herbert, like is he good or is he just a middle of the road quarterback?
yeah, it's kind of hard to tell because his stats have diminished a lot with Harbaugh. So
He's
I don't know
not.
if that's his like if that's his offense that he's running, or if Herbert's hitting that like sophomore slump kind of deal.
I don't
I know
know,
he's not a sophomore now,
dude.
but.
He's a free agent in my fantasy league.
Yeah. I mean, if you would have told me that last year or 2 years ago, I'd be like, what?
He just like can't get over the hump. You
I mean,
know,
he's only getting like 9, 10 fantasy points a game, it
he's
feels like.
forgettable. Like he's forgettable. Like CJ
Yeah.
Stroud, I feel like took his spot in the AFC.
Oh yeah, he I think he did. Because he's definitely not any of the leagues that I'm in available.
Yeah, so I mean, because I think people were like, it's just like Colin Cowherd on Fox. Like Justin Herbert's gonna be the next guy, blah blah blah, and it's just nope, not
Oh yeah,
yet.
Colin Coward was like riding his meat for saw like a year straight though.
Yeah, not yet. That's for sure. Yeah, he loves Harbaugh, and I hate Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Gosh. All right, man. Well, that's a pretty good slate of NFL guys. Yankees, man. Congratulations. This is so
Thanks,
much
dude.
fun. And I gotta say this too. When your team's in the championship series for any sport, it's a period of time that you never forget, win or lose. Like
Yep.
it's so unique. Getting to wake up on game day, bro. Hop in your step. Just incredible for you.
Oh yeah, I was a obviously I was a fan when I was younger, but like I don't think you're a sports fan when you're a kid like you are like in your adult years. So this
Yeah.
is the first time any of my teams have really been like in that championship as an adult. Um, Late game last night. I was over at my buddy's house for the first like half of it. So I was with him when I saw Stanton. Stanton tied the game up at 2 with that monster shot. I don't know why this dude hung a freaking breaking ball down and away to Stanton like he didn't have 7 home runs on the season. I think it was 6 actually at that time. 6 home runs on the series already. Uh, it was just the wrong pitch to the wrong guy. Tied the game up, and then the bullpen came in, kind of handled their end of the deal. Got to the 10th inning, 2 on. Juan Soto just proving why he's like the generational talent that he is. Six pitch, or it was either 5 or 6 pitch at bat, just battling, fouling pitches away. And every single time he fouled one away, he like kind of gave him that look and that nod, like, yeah, I'm on to that. And then just he hit that ball to put us up by 3, and what like he just dropped the bat and he was watching it, and I was like, he either just fucking flew out or he just tanked it, and like the camera finally caught the ball, and I was like, oh, it's gone, and I was going crazy, but what a
Man.
freaking feeling! They went and handled business. I have a lot of like a lot more confidence in the team because they were tested. I hadn't seen them tested like in that series against the Royals when they lost the one game, but they didn't really get tested in any of the other games. So it was nice to see them go down and battle back multiple times in the series. Credits to the Guardians. They're building the team the way I like to see teams get built. They just had the wrong guys falling apart in October. Class A, I think I saw a stat earlier where like on the season he had allowed 3 runs, which is insane because he's a Cy Young candidate as a closing pitcher. He had like a 10.09 ERA at one point the other night. And I think that was before we tacked on a couple more. So like the wrong guys just falling under the pressure, and that's part of baseball, man.
It
That's
is, man. It's the playoffs, and that's why baseball's incredible. I had an argument with a guy at the wedding about
yep,
baseball, and he's like, he's a big football guy. He doesn't understand baseball, the games, why there's so many games, and I had to explain that to him. Then, I don't understand the series. It's like the moments in baseball is so pressurized
yep,
because time sits still between each pitch.
yeah,
You
legit.
don't, and your brain, you have to deal with your brain in those moments, and how do you handle that? Like, and then as a fan, you're just sitting there and you're like, oh my God, this is so, the game's like fun, but it's also like, gut wrenching at moments.
Yeah, just
Or It's,
constantly
it's
every
storytelling.
single.
It's
Yep.
storytelling, and it's amazing. The one thing I'll say about the Yankees is, though they have a high payroll, they still do it right, where they have younger guys come in, play. Who's their closer? What's his name? Is it Weaver?
Luke Weaver. So he was a starter. He's on his third team, I
Yeah,
think.
exactly. Like they
I
find these
mean,
guys, man. Their
yeah,
big guys play big in key moments, not always throughout the season. Each of those three guys had slumps, right? But they're
yep,
playing big. And then you have these other guys come in and step up. You got young guys coming in and stepping up. You got outcasts stepping up, your stars stepping up, and then your young guys who you like draft and develop stepping up. And that's a
yeah.
championship roster.
When you take a step back and look at the roster, like Judge was he was a Yankees prospect at one point. Volpe was a prospect at one point. Austin Wells, who's I would call him the primary catcher of the two. He's been playing the majority of the games. He was in the farm system at one point. So it's not like they just go out and they sign these big name free agents and just buy a freaking team like they want to. Because you look at these guys like Luke Weaver, you had never even heard of him
No.
until he started like closing games for the Yankees. And honestly, early in the season, he wasn't even closing games out. He was like a middle reliever, like middle arm kind of guy to get you over the hump. If Clay Holmes didn't go through his slump that he went through, we probably would have never even known Luke Weaver can close games like this. Only I think he gave a home run to Jose Ramirez. It was a solo, and he still closed the game out anyways because it only brought them to two. And then he had that one game where he gave up the home run to John Kenzie Newell. Other than that, this guy's been freaking lights out like the whole entire postseason, and honestly, like, down the stretch too. Because I think he was like 12 or 13 saves like down the stretch. So huge. I mean, Clay Holmes blew like 14 saves before they took him out of the closing role. So that's 14 games that they could have won that they didn't. But it is what it is. Doesn't matter now. They're in the World Series. I think that a couple lineup changes I'd like to see made. I like to see Rizzo batting. I like to see Rizzo batting fourth. And move Stanton to fifth. Just like flip flop them, just to get that right left right combo with Judge, Rizzo, Stanton. Um, Rizzo, you're still getting that platinum glove defense, but on top of that, his bat has been on fire.
Dude,
Um,
Rizzo's such a big game player. Rizzo's one of my favorite
yeah,
Cubs of all time. Like Rizzo, I don't know what they'll do sorry not to make this about the Cubs, but I don't like the
you
Cubs
could.
2016 team. Like I don't know if they'll all get statues, if they'll do one big statue, but that dude will have a statue at Wrigley. And it'll
Oh,
be
for
next to
sure.
Rhino or some of the classic Cubs. I mean, yeah. When he got hurt, I was like, we talked about this a while back. When he got hurt, that kind of sucked. I was like, now I don't like, for you guys, because I'm like, he's just such a great playoff guy.
Yeah,
One of
and
the
then
best first base gloves in the history of baseball.
you don't really think of him as a Yankee when you think of like like anytime I think of
You
Anthony
don't.
Rizzo, even as a Yankees fan, I'm like, oh, that's a Cub. It's like
It's like
Peyton Manning didn't get thought of as a Bronco. He's a Colt.
yeah. So, but
But
I
he's
would be
coming
so
in.
happy for
He's
him.
still nursing that thumb injury. He's not even 100%. He's out there batting in New York and Cleveland in the cold. And then with his style of hitting too, where he's like up on the plate, like not
Hmm.
afraid to get hit. He's just such a gutsy player.
He
He's
is,
been
man.
coming through huge though. A lot of really good at bats, and then a lot of really long at bats too. So
Yeah, I'll be rooting for him, no doubt. All right, question for you though. So we
yeah,
got Mets Dodgers, top of the second. Dodgers up 2-1. Who do you want to play? And this is game six. If Dodgers win this one, they win the series.
I want to play the Dodgers because I want to see us beat the Dodgers. I hate the Dodgers. I hate their deferred payments.
Yeah.
Fucking hate Shohei Ohtani. I think that he's getting looked at as the NL MVP is fucking disgusting because he's strictly a DH. They never gave David Ortiz that same pleasure. So why change it now But I think that the MLB tries to like paint him up to be like their poster child. I'm just
Yeah.
sick of it. Um, but I would love to beat the Dodgers. I'd also love a Subway Series. So I wouldn't complain if the Mets won.
All right. Let me ask
They're
you
just
this. What's better for baseball?
yeah, Yankees and Dodgers would be better for baseball for sure.
Yeah, Yankees and
I saw a
Dodgers.
stat the other day that said they had 19 million people in Japan watching the game when they were playing against the Padres when it was Otani versus what's that dude on the Padres, the Asian guy?
No idea.
Yu
That's too
Darvish.
West Coast for. Oh, you Darvish, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
when it
was a
was those
Cub for
two
a
lined
minute.
up to pitch against each other, they had like 19 million people watching the game. And this is like 9 in the morning in Japan. So in terms of like global viewership, probably the Dodgers. Plus, they're the more popular team throughout the world, anyways. But I don't know. The Mets kind of scare me more, honestly. They're really gritty. Like they have battled back like in the eighth or ninth inning multiple times this season. So
I go back and forth. I think for it's better for baseball for the Dodgers. What do I want? Last week I said I didn't want the Subway Series, but now I thought about it more. I think that would be some of the coolest TV coverage to see the city almost like just to see the coverage and the people and how they interact and like it's just I
yeah,
think that would be a unique situation and that's honestly would be immediate like 30 for 30. Like
yeah,
something in that stereo like that's a historic series. Dodgers, yeah, so yeah, I would rather see the Mets and Dodgers. I think that's more interesting to me at least.
yeah. I mean, I think that the Mets are more poised to if the Mets make it through tonight, then their chances get really real. Mainly for their pitching because the Dodgers pitcher in Game Seven would be significantly weaker than I think. Oh, who's pitching tonight?
Did I
Yeah,
say give me the Mets or did I say give me the Dodgers? Because I definitely want the Mets. Give me the Mets.
the Mets got Manaea pitching right now, so he's their ace. He's gonna give them the chance, but I don't know. Either way, I don't know. Next Friday, I'll be fucking partying for sure. That'll probably start like right when I get off work, 'cause that's when Game One is.
That's so much fun.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait. I
You
bought
know,
my hat earlier, my World Series. Yeah, because like
I got my Cub one right here.
yeah. Well, I was talking to my wife and yeah, hell yeah. I was talking to my wife and she's like, I can't believe you just like egregiously went out and bought that. And I was like, look, realistically, there is no telling when I'll be to when my team will be to another championship. Like, could they go again next year? Yeah, sure, but
Yeah.
it is so hard to make the World Series.
Yeah, and I like it. I like they come out if you win, you get there's a champion patch, but I like the one that just says World Series.
Yeah.
So that's an easy get, man. I remember the Colts won the Super Bowl. You got like the Super Bowl shirt and all that.
Oh yeah, I got the hat right here. Hell yeah, we're gonna get another one of these soon. Anthony Richardson, baby. He's taking us all the way.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know. Isn't that so cool? That's such good stuff.
Yeah,
I'm and then I'm a diehard Penguins fan, so I got like Penguins. They won, back-to-back cup. I got stuff. Every time my team wins a championship, I always get stuff. But I really wanted the patch to just say World Series.
absolutely.
And then if you win, I think don't they still do the gold jerseys?
Yeah, they do. It's like the Rangers had him this year.
Yeah.
Where like the lettering is lined in gold. So I think if they win, and then this is assuming we fucking sign Soto back to a mega deal because he's looking at like
Five or
14
six,
years,
man. Is it five?
800 million right now.
Yeah. Oh, is
Uh,
it eight? They're putting eight. I heard it was either five or six was the number they're putting in front of that contract.
no, I keep on gassing the number up every single time. Like I posted after he hit that home run. I said like 14 years, 860 million. I'll start the GoFundMe. Like I think Yankees fans would probably like pay a monthly subscription to like help pay for one of those contract if they could.
Well, when you hit big, when it matters, that's when you become a legend.
Yeah, when you're batting over 300 in the postseason, like that's how you get a statue in Monument Park.
That's it, man. And that's big time
Completely.
players, and that's what really pissed me off about the Cubs guys that they paid. They half the time they don't come through when you really need them.
Yeah,
So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see about the Cubs. But yeah, man, I'll be rooting for you guys.
I appreciate it. All right, brother. Well,
Talk
we'll just
soon.
watch these fucking games and see what happens.
Right on. Hey, peace.
Yeah, man. Later.